Well, good morning, Marina. Good afternoon. Good
Good
evening.
afternoon.
Good night. We don't know who's with us, and it's different times of day and different days, maybe in different places. So, welcome. So, how is everyone? I think you're fine. How is the weather where you are? If you're in Australia, it's summer. If you're in Russia, it's winter. Here it's kind of in between. It's very pleasant weather, around 60 degrees and blue skies. So we're very lucky. Now, last Saturday, summer always, yes. Last Saturday in Mixed Nuts, Xuanzang Tower, I don't say that properly, I know. We had Seiji's class, Seiji Arao. His class is on the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, which, of course, we are studying here. And if any of you attended, I am grateful. I had hoped that Geshe Michael would call on one of our students to read Sanskrit. But even though I reminded him 2 times, that did not happen. So if you got up at midnight or dawn and came to the class, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry we did not get to read Sanskrit, but we will not give up. Okay. Today we're going to work on Sanskrit vowels. And later in the class, you will need paper and a marker. So have them at hand. Let's have the first slide after the title slide. We'll show the title slide so they can see how beautiful it is. Never mind, this is the good slide. Okay. Yeah, isn't that that's such a beautiful graphic. I love that graphic. Okay, next. Oh, right. In the United States, it's traditional in some parts of the culture to have a big celebration when a young woman turns 16. And we call it the Sweet 16 party. So I named this class the Sweet 16 because there are 16 vowels in Sanskrit. And this is just a silly way to help you remember that there are 16 sweet vowels in Sanskrit. Next slide, please. Marina, do you think I should get a peachy kino? That's a mixed, no, that's a Peachtree World News thing. We can talk about it later. Okay. Everybody open their mics. You know how to pronounce this word. You know how the vowel sounds. So let's say this word out loud. Svara. Open your mics.
Svara.
Svara, not svara. No, no. No long
Svara.
markers. Svara.
Svara. Svara.
Good. Svara.
Svara.
Svara. Good. So this is a beautiful Sanskrit word that can mean a number of things, all related. It means vowel. It means sound. It can mean breath. And it also can mean the vibration of prana in the physical body. So when we say the primal sound of the vowel, the first vowel in Sanskrit, when we say everybody open their mics again and say not I think you can see how that sound is so primal. It can represent the vibration of prana in the physical body. It helps us activate and imagine the channels in our body and the sound, the prana going up and down. Okay. So let's sing the vowel sound song. Everybody open their mics or keep them open, and we'll sing the vowel song. And that is uh, uh, er, er, e, I, o, ow. One more time. Uh, uh, ir, e, I, ow. So next slide, please. So we'll go through the Sweet 16, and here is what each sound looks like in the left, Devanagari, in the right, I asked. So the first two letters, looking horizontally, are The second two are e. The third pair is oo. So just get a sense of what they look like in Devanagari and what the sounds are that go with those marks. Okay, and just briefly, let's review the mouth positions. Is first varga, that's guttural. So you fold your tongue in half and stick it way down your throat. Everybody say make it a throat sound. The second two are e, and the mouth position is palatal. So here's where you make your tongue flat and pull it back and stick the flat part up against that bump in the back of your mouth. Good. And that is the proper way to pronounce it. But as Western language speakers, most of us, when we recite Sanskrit faster, we approximate that sound. It's going to be really hard to make exact. So don't worry too much, but you will know how to say it exactly if you have just one word you're working with. And the position for is labial, which is the fifth varga. Palatal is the second varga. But is the fifth varga, and that is labial. So it means you have to use your lips. And we do that by making our lips round and saying ooh, 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 ooh. So it's not like a Roman sound or a Western language sound. All right, let's see the next slide. So here are the really beautiful letters R and Lir. I think these are two of the prettiest letters. And please, in the fourth one there, ignore that little mark on the bottom. That's the long Lir. I copied this from a book because I really love this script, and I could not crop it properly to eliminate that small mark. So please ignore it. By the way, this script, this one, which is not the same as the type font we are using, this, I think, was a handcrafted script that was invented around 1864 in a printing firm in India, in Bombay, Mumbai, and it's called, I think it's called Nirmaya Yasagara, which is the name of the printing firm. But if you ever find it, appreciate it because it's very beautiful. Okay, so let's say these four. These are still part of the 5 simple vowels. I just took them out of order. So the first one on the left is er, and then the next one is also on the top line is er. Let's say those with me. Er, 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 er. And remember that these are vowels. So this is R used as a vowel, and it has a softer sound in Sanskrit than R used as a consonant. So this is more like a French R. It's not exactly like a French R, but more like R. And the consonant is more like a Spanish or Russian Ra. Are there any Russian speakers here? Can someone say R for me with a nice rolling R?
R.
Yeah, R, 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 R. Great. How about any Spanish speakers?
R.
Good. See, so you're getting some really good consonants, rolled R's, but the vowel is softer. Okay. And then the last two here on the left, the bottom row is lir, and on the right is lir, lir. So these are, well, we'll go over the Vargas in a minute, but the fourth letter here, the long lir, lir, is a letter we have with no words that it appears in. So what I'm told is that it's a holdover from a more ancient form of the language. So sometimes you won't see it listed, but it makes sense because it's one of the 5 simple vowels, and each of them has a short and a long. So this one also does, although it does not currently, well, I shouldn't say currently, it does not appear in any word in classical Sanskrit. Okay, so the mouth position for the R's is cerebral. And this is my favorite mouth position because you stick your tongue straight up the tip of your tongue into your brain, cerebral. So open your mic, say with me, R, 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 R. Not too much rolling. I heard a Spanish rolling, or like French. R, R. Put more force on the breath. R, R. For that sound. R, R. And the lir is dental, 4th varga. So we pronounce it with the tongue, the tip of the tongue, on the little bump behind our front teeth, and we say lir, lir,
Lir.
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 lir,
Lir.
lir,
Lir.
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 Yes. Okay, next slide, please. And here are the middle ones. And these are the ones we sing A, I, O, ow. So sing with me. A, I,
Ow.
Good. And we'll talk about them more soon. I will make a comment that these are the classic forms of these letters, but you will only typically see them in written Sanskrit in a text if they are the first letter in the first word in a line. Otherwise, we'll have many other ways to write them, something to look forward to. Okay, next slide.
Oh,
Question?
no. I'm just trying to copy all the letters.
Oh, we're going to practice that in a few minutes. So don't worry. And also don't forget, I hope you are all getting these PowerPoints after class, a day or two, and then you can look at them and practice. But don't forget, there's no official homework in Sanskrit 1, so don't feel pressured. Okay, so these two are the last, we call them vowels in the 16, but they're not really pronounced like vowels, although they're very, very closely associated with vowels. So the way we pronounce the first one is say It's like a yeah, that's fun to say. It's like a buzzing bee. And it really has the effect of making the vowel before it very nasal, extra nasal sounding. So, and the last one there, oh, and this first one is called anusvara, anusvara. And if you notice, svara is the word we started our class with. And we're going to take it to mean vowel. And anu is a prefix it's a prefix meaning after. So anusvara is literally translated as after sound. And you can see that if you make a vowel very nasal, it does have an effect on how that vowel sounds after you say it.
So
question, yeah.
the writing is almost the same than the oh, right?
Yeah, yes.
The same.
Very true. This is a very good observation. Because is such a primal sound, its marker, the way we write the regular is often used for grammatical purposes to represent other aspects of the alphabet.
Yeah, abugi. It's not an alphabet. It's abugadi or
it's the abugida. Very good point.
Yeah, something like that. Something.
Abugida.
Abugida. Yeah. Forget. Sorry.
No, that's perfect. And tell me why that's important to know.
Because we don't see every letter in a word like in an alphabet. There are some letters by default that are not shown.
Yes. And the only one that's by default and not shown is All the other vowels, the other 16, will have special markers based on the way we write them, but not exactly. We'll learn this later. But the abugida for Sanskrit, and there are other abugidas I know nothing about. I think Ethiopian is one. I don't know what that vowel is. All I know that the abugida vowel in Sanskrit is the
Oh.
And so the default is always So if you don't see anything else marker wise that we will learn about, assume an
Okay.
But I think we all know enough Sanskrit words like yoga, and the first syllable does not have an it has an o. So when we learn to write yoga, we will not have an assumed automatic will have an O because it will be marked. But the G will not have a marking. And that will be the Abugida thing, which is an automatic
All right. Thank you.
It's very interesting how this will unroll, and we will learn much more about all of this. Okay, so now let's have the next slide. Here are all the vowels. Can somebody correct me? Is that a true statement? Is there anything you notice? How many are there here?
Yeah, there are two missing.
50.
15. And how
50.
many vowels are there supposed to be?
16.
Why is one missing?
It's one. Oh, it's one missing. Oh.
Which one?
Long, clear.
Long, lir,
Clear.
lir. And there's two reasons for that. One, I was too lazy to find a good illustration of one to put in here. But two, since it's a letter without a word and we don't really use it, I left it out. But we're still going to count it in the vowel song. So what I'd like to do now is take a 15-minute breakout group. Marina and Amirta are going to try to put you roughly in language groups. And I want you to practice 3 things in the 15 minutes. In your group, sing the vowel song at least once. Second, get your paper and marker and practice writing each Devanagari letter at least once. And third, try, even if you only do it silently, to remember which sound goes with which letter. And the reason you can do this, you know enough to do this, is because of the vowel song, because it's in the order of I, u, lir, missing the long lir, a, I, o, ow, ah. So let's get ready and go to the breakout groups, and I'll give you 15 minutes. If you come to the end, start over again and help each other. Okay, we're getting ready to come back. Marina will tell us when we're all together again.
We already all back.
We're all back. Thank you. Very good. Okay, so how did that go? Anyone have any comment?
We needed more time. I think that's the homework, I think.
Yes.
Because, but every time you start to write each letter, you find some similarity with with the alphabet. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes.
In details, they have something similarities.
Yes. Yes. They definitely have some similarities. And that makes it challenging to distinguish between them sometimes. So the more familiar you can get with them, the better. And I mentioned last time, oh, Albina, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
With the letters M and H, there is diamond-shaped dots. Are they meant to be diamond shape or is just a regular dot?
This is a feature of this script. However, often you will find diamond shaped, but you can make a round dot or a square dot. Just don't make it too long. Make it a short dot-like shape. It's optional.
Thank you.
Yeah. And again, I've mentioned before, and ask any other questions or make any other comments. I have mentioned that it's important not to associate these letters and sounds with your own language vowels. It's very tempting to say, oh, the is like my but best not to do that. Best to cut out that middle step and go straight to the connection between the sounds in the vowel song and the way the letters are written. Okay. And let's see. All right. Let's go to the next slide. One more. We'll talk about vowels more. Okay. So gimme is an American slang word that means a free gift. You say, I got some gimmies, free gifts. And this is about the middle four vowels, A, I, O, ow. These vowels are always long. So we hold them for 2 beats. A, I, O, ow. With the previous 5 vowels, you remember we have but then we have ooh, etc. These 4 are always 2 beats. A, I, O, ow. So that's a nice gift because a lot of times in Sanskrit, it's challenging when we are learning to pronounce a word to know whether the 5 simple vowels are long or short. These are always long. Next slide. And here is the Devanagari for these. A, I, O, ow. So let's recite them together from the Devanagari. Open your mics and say with me. A, I,
O, ow.
Good. So you held them very nicely for 2 beats. Next slide. The names for these are guna and vrdi. Now, we don't know that N with the dot under it very well yet, but we definitely have the R with the dot under it, which is the way you write in I asked a Sanskrit R vowel. So the way we pronounce that second word is verde. Verde. Say with me, verde.
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 Verde. Verde.
See how
Verde.
easy? It's very easy once you learn the proper vowels to pronounce a word with R as a vowel. You just put the sound R in there. Verde. Verde.
Verde.
Verde.
Right.
Verde.
So these terms, the first one I'd like to translate strengthened, the second one increased. And guna is the first level or grade of strengthening. And verde is the second grade. It's increased more. So these are the words I use to translate guna and verde. But you may see other English words to translate these words in some places. So let's go to the next slide. So now we're going to go out of order. Guna in the vertical stack is the A and the O. These two are strengthened. Say with me, A, O.
A.
O.
A,
O.
yes. And the verde are the I and the ow. I,
I.
I.
O.
I.
O.
So when we sing the vowel song, we sing A, I, O, ow. But it's in a different order for reasons I will explain. The A and the O are the guna. They're strengthened, but only one level. And the I and the ow are vrdi, increased, meaning strengthened a little bit more. So the reasons for this are that the way you make the first guna A is by combining the primal with the I sound. A, and that to the Sanskrit ear sounds like A. A. And the second guna is O. So here you take the primal sound and you combine it with U. And that to the Sanskrit ear sounds like O, O, O. So I think you can see both how they're made and what they sound like to us in 2026, much later. And the verdi are, as we mentioned, increased a little bit more. So stacked vertically, we have the I and the ow sounds, and they both also begin with the primal letter but in this case, for I, we combine the with the guna, A. So to the Sanskrit ear, the and the A sound like I, I, A. And similarly with the ow, we take, in this case, the primal sound, and we combine it with the guna, which is O, and we get O, ow, ow. So do you see the logic of this? The gunas are strengthened one level by combining an and another simple vowel. The virdi are combined in a more increased way by combining the with the guna. So let's go to the next slide. So these are the 5 simple vowels, the long version and the short version, just to review. In the first block going down, you see I, u, and lir. So here we're going to have to make a distinction between 1 beat and 2. I, u. But if you look at the next slide, I didn't put them again, but we just went over the guna. Maybe go back one. Yeah, the guna and the virdi are always 2 beats. So that's A, O, I, ow. So no choices need to be made. That's why I call them free gifts or gimmies. Okay, let's go 2 slides forward. Yeah. And this is how they look in IAST, which, as you remember, is the transcription system we like to use. And it's into Roman letters. And it's the IAST acronym stands for International Alphabet, even though that's technically incorrect, of Sanskrit transliteration. So let's look at the marks on the second examples of the first 5. So the short is just a plain but the long has a mark over it. And this is called a macron, or it's also known in English as a long mark. And that will tell you in an IAST sentence which vowels to hold for 2 beats and which to hold for 1. And notice that the gunas and the virdis do not have any marks. They don't need any marks because they're always long. Okay, let's go to the next slide. We'll practice a little. So here we have the and the And these are things you do with your mouth when pronouncing the vowels that affect the sound of the vowels. The first one, when you see that mark over a vowel, is called anusvara, and we already talked about that. It means literally after sound. Anu means after, and svara can mean sound, can also mean vowel, and a few other things. So it nasalizes the sound of the vowel before it and makes it sound more like a buzzing bee. And there is a very well-known phrase which has the anusvara, and I wrote it in I asked for you underneath. It has 2 anusvaras. Evam maya shrutam. So this is the 3 words that begin almost every sutra that the Buddha spoke. And it means, thus was it heard by me. But you see the 2 anusvara, and when it's written in IAST, the dot is under the M. So that combined dot M is the equivalent of the Devanagari with the dot on top of it. And what it does is it nasalizes that in evam. So we say evam maya shrutum, more nasal. It's very slight difference, but that's what it stands for. Now, the second and the last vowel there, sometimes we call them vowel markers rather than vowels, is called a visarga. Visarga. Everybody say visarga.
Visarga.
Visaga.
Visarga.
Visaga.
Visarga.
Visaga.
All short vowels as it happens. Visarga. Okay.
Visarga.
Visaga.
Visarga.
What it does to a vowel is it adds a rough breathing sound. So you say, huh. Here's a word. Yeah, huh. And Geshe Michael likes to make it just a rough breathing, but I like to actually exaggerate it. So if you're ever reading for Geshe Michael, just make it rough slightly. But in our classes, we will exaggerate it. So that word under the visarga there in I asked is namaha, namaha, namaha,
Namaha.
Namaha.
So make that final h sound soft. Don't really say h, but sort of add a sound. Namaha.
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 Yeah,
Namaha.
Namaha.
but more breathing. Yeah, that is actually perfect. Yeah. Okay. And it affects the vowel before the visarga, which is so it's namaha, namaha, more nasal and rough. Okay. And we see in the two I asked groups that the anusvara is written as an M with a dot under it to nasalize the previous vowel. And the visarga is written as an H with a dot under it to add that rough breathing sound to the previous vowel. Okay. And interestingly, many, many, many of the most common type of noun have a nominative singular that ends in the visarga. So we will work a lot with visarga. Okay, I think let's go to the next slide. I think maybe we'll skip one. Yeah, we just did that. So go to the, there we go. So let's mix it up a little. The first words we practiced with were mostly all but here we have longs and shorts and different vowels. So say with me, and we won't have too much time, but we'll do more next week. The first one is the kid. You see, it's like a 5-syllable sound. 2 beats, 1 beat, 2 beats. The kidney. Very good. Now the second word, something that we're familiar with probably, and that is rupa. I did
Rupa.
and that's a word that means body. And you can roll that first R because that's a consonant. Rupa.
Rupa.
Yes. The first word, by the way, means flying female Buddha. Okay. The third word has a vocalic R. And how many vowels in that word?
One.
Two.
Two.
Yes. The first one is the R. And what's the second one?
I.
It's not, it doesn't have a long mark. So it's So we're going to say Gerste, and that S is a sh.
Dürste.
Gerste.
Thirsty.
Dürste.
Thirsty.
Dürste.
Thirsty. Thirsty.
Here, a
Dürste.
final I, not an E, and an I, not
Dürste.
an E.
Dürste.
Gerste. And that means focus or point of view. And you get that in yoga. Okay, we're going to maybe go over 1 minute, but I just want to quickly go through these words and we'll do more next week. The fourth one is Upeksha. How many long vowels in that?
Uh,
One.
one.
Two.
Two. Yeah.
Two.
Тому що that's what A is the first
A
one.
is all
And
it's a gun.
With the mark. With the mark.
There's a mark, but A doesn't need a mark. You just have to remember it's always long. The first one, though, has nothing, so it's short. Upeksha.
Upeksha.
Upeksha. Okay. Now, how many long vowels in the next one?
One.
Two.
Two. Yes, two. Why?
I.
I.
It's a vertical vowel, right? It's the I, ow.
Ow.
I. This is the I. So we say Vairagya.
Vairagya.
Yeah.
Vairagya.
Vairagya.
I think this is a word that means rage or, redness, good power. All right. The next one. How many long vowels?
One.
One is correct.
Whoa. Oh.
Which one? No, because
Oh.
what kind of vowel? What's the Sanskrit word for that category?
Guna.
Guna. Perfect.
Guna.
Guna.
No.
So this is Jyoti.
Oti.
Good. And it's a word for light and sometimes has to do with astrology. And the next one, how many long vowels in that one?
One.
Yes. Which one?
Ow.
Ow.
What category of vowel? What's the Sanskrit name for that category?
Virde.
Right. So this is a little challenging to say unless you're a Russian speaker, but it's Daurmanasya.
Manasya.
Not Manasya, no.
Manasa.
Manasya is all the same weight. But the first one is held for 2 beats. Daurmanasya. And the next one is, how many long vowels in that?
One. Lir.
One.
Nothing.
Is it long?
Two.
Nothing.
None.
Are there
No,
any
there is
Sanskrit
mark.
words with long,
Is lir short?
short? Because there are no Sanskrit words with a long lir. That's why we left.
Why this has dot under them?
That is just the style that IAST, the writing system, uses to indicate an L that is a vowel. Because L can also be a consonant.
Oh, okay.
It has no
Thank
doubt.
you.
Yeah, we'll learn more, but that's a great question. Okay, so 2 short vowels. Glurta. 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 And that's a word that just means forming or arrangement. And finally, I'm sorry I kept you 4 minutes long. This is a very good word. How many long vowels in the last word?
Two.
One.
Two. Two.
Vowels.
Two.
Oh, it's
Oh.
yogini. Say
Yo.
Yogini. Yogini. Yogini.
This word does not rhyme with bikini. Do not use that word. Yogini.
Yogini.
Every Buddhist you know who is not a Sanskrit student will say it incorrectly. So I want you all to say yogini.
Yogini.
Yes, very good. And we'll do this again next week to reinforce it. But thank you very much. Remember to dedicate and do coffee meditation on your study of Sanskrit. You're keeping it alive in the world and you are spreading the Dharma. So just
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, teacher.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marina.
Thank